I'm starting recording now. So I think first up, let's see maybe like Half Hawk. I'm really interested to know, like, I know Max and Caesar talked about your role, but it'd be nice just to hear it from you directly. Like, what was your role in this game, and how did you get to meet the guys, and just share a little bit about the start. How it all sort of began for you.
Sure. Well, I'm a pre-internet kid. I was born in '75, so growing up, my dad was into ham radio.
Right, me too. Nice.
At some point, we started messing around with Packet, which was a thing you could send a single letter over a radio.
Yeah.
So anyway, by the time I was kind of a teenage kid, that's when Doom and Duke Nukem and Quake, like the original versions of those games, came out.
Yeah.
And you could mess with them. There was editors for those games, so
like level editors.
Quickly got into. Yeah, for making levels, and you could, if you knew how to make sprites, you could even do enemies and things.
Cool.
But
nice.
Because we didn't have internet at uni in like '93, we were all playing kind of four-man servers, just local, on some of these types of games. Nice. And the games that my friends were most into were games like Descent. We played so much Descent in college.
Oh, cool.
And so I always had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to work on a mod. I got a little distracted with the Battlefield 2. We did some mods for the Battlefield Pirates. I was involved in that. And then later, when I got to grad school and was overseas, I was looking for something else to work on, and I just through kind of an internet search looking for Descent-based games, I came across Max and his post and applied to the team, and that's where I met Caesar and Sebastian.
And that would have been in like 2000 and what year?
Probably maybe 2011, 2012.
Cool. Wow.
Over there.
So that's sort of
I came a little bit later than everybody else.
Oh, so you came in a little bit later than after the other ones, is that right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, cool.
The vertical map was already in pretty good shape when I came in.
Right.
So I remember the first thing I worked on was the doors. You shoot the doors and they open.
Oh yeah.
That was like my first contribution to the game, and then got involved in the pickups, and then eventually did a lot of the work on the maps themselves. So this map we're flying on now, Neptune, is a map of mine.
This one
Nice.
and this one being Neptune, and the other one was.
I worked on Icebreaker. We got a pretty good head start on that from a community member named Homita.
Oh yeah.
He had sort of like the basement ring, but I put the upper floor on that and redid all of the ice flows.
Yeah.
You can go to our archives and see some of his original posts. It doesn't really look like the final product, but one thing that we thought was Vertigo was meant for, if you got just a couple buddies, 2-3 guys, and you still want to play, it's a nice, tidy, small map.
Yeah.
And then Neptune here, the origin of this was the community did we asked the community, like, hey, what's your favorite original map that you like to fight on? And by far, this one map came up that is the layout, the exact layout of this map. And so spent some time pulling in that BSP, that volume, to get the coordinates correct, and then just sort of doing a reimagining of what that shape could be with the big open windows. You can actually see Neptune out the window of one of the control rooms if you look.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, we were like, okay, well, what happens when we get a significant number of players? We're going to need a large map, and that's where we went after, making Icebreaker much bigger than the original map to have a small, medium, and large.
Yeah, so you had a first version of Icebreaker, and then it sort of morphed over time into a larger room, is that right?
Yeah, we just needed to have something a little bit bigger in case we got, 16 players in somewhere. It's hard to do that on Vertigo.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Nice.
Although you could do it.
And we actually even had a giant map that was a little insane. It was like a spinning space station.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I would love to play on that someday.
Oh, I'd love to see that. Nice.
Yeah, I mentioned it last time. There was this one area that we opened it up in space. We actually had space battles, and we realized that the speed of the projectiles weren't fast enough, so it would be really hard to hit people in open space.
Hitbox, yeah.
Different issues going on there. The most of the descent games work because you're in tight spaces, so you get this splash damage off of walls if you don't actually hit somebody. You know what I mean? When you're, I think like the third actual descent game had some open combat areas that you know what I mean.
Yes.
Kind of lost the third a little bit.
Single player for sure. Yeah, that's actually one of the areas where Descent Underground screwed up bad.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Scaling of players versus spaces.
Yep.
Because Descent 3
So
is
we
the
had
one
that
that has that open field, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. So, because when I look at your maps here, and I think, gee, there's a nice scene out there. So really, you could make a much larger map that includes some of the outside terrain and such. And that was your larger map that you said that you had that ability, right?
Yeah, it was a ring station, so sort of like 2001: Space Odyssey, the movie. You know what I mean? Like there was, a large ring.
I
there
remember
was
the screenshot.
a center area.
Yeah.
But because of the way that the UDK works with like collision, like we couldn't spin the station, so I had this crazy idea to take the planets and we had asteroid belts that sort of capped your floor and ceiling, and we just spun the environment around the entire time we were playing. And so when you're parked and still, you felt like you were on like a scrambler, like at the fair. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was pretty convincing.
Cool.
We just couldn't figure out how to make that sort of outside cubic volume, fun. Because once you got outside, it was really hard to hit anybody, and people would just park out there. So we decided not to add it to the game. But that was meant to be our Excel map.
Wow. It sounds really cool. At some point. Map sounds really cool. It'd be nice to see one day, just in person, see what it's like, or even a video or something. But yeah, that sounds really cool. So obviously, I'll go on to DuderSeb a bit later. He's obviously the 3D guy, and Max is the programmer. Caesar's the audio. So and I'm pretty sure they have explained what your role is, but so what's your specific role when you guys were producing this demo?
Well, I started as an environmental artist. Yeah.
Right. Environmental
but
artist.
Later got into all the systems. Like this, because of this project, I learned to code.
Nice.
Luckily, we didn't have to touch the flight model. Max had such a great setup.
So like C and C++?
Yeah, it's Unreal Script. Was what this was written in.
Right.
So later, when we got into weapons tuning and balancing, and like the ship changes shape depending on the weapon that you're shooting and using. So helping Sebastian with the logic and the code to transform the ship when you change from weapon to weapon.
Nice.
With like a lot of that underlying system stuff was what I did.
Oh, sort of back end, so to speak. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. That's really
Cooking
cool to hear. No, so it's really cool to hear what what your role is and what you've been doing, and the sort of the history behind how it's all came together. So have you guys sort of, I guess Max sort of explained it, but you guys haven't sort of been in contact that much lately, so it's sort of like a bit of a reunion of sorts, I guess you could call this.
The three of us? No, we all work together to today.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
We kind of kept going. Max is, obviously we keep up with Max here and there. Everything's good with him, but we kind of just kept dating, or this kind of became our vehicle to keep trying to stay in the industry until we did, and now we just kind of work together.
Yeah, and that's that Rotu entertainment that you guys run in now, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, you're part of that too, Seb. That's awesome.
That's really cool.
I didn't realize. Yeah, I knew Michael and Caesar were part of that, but I'm thrilled that you got into it too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they got the little LinkedIn 4-year anniversary notification thing. I was like, man, it's been 4 years. Jeez.
Yeah, time flies. Yeah. Just trying to think of what else to ask you there, Half-Hawk, as I'm sort of flying around. Just trying to think what other kind of like interesting things and nuggets you could share with us. Just what your involvement and what you're doing. I suppose, without digressing too far away from SolC, so what sort of projects are you working on at the moment with Caesar and DuderSeb?
Oh man, you wouldn't believe it if we told you. This week we met with Blur Studios, Tim Miller, to talk Love, Death, and Robots.
Ooh.
Lagoon, because we're doing virtual production work right now. We've done music videos for Keanu Reeves and Aloe Black. We've done.
Oh, that's awesome.
TV shows, movie stuff. We're into industrial simulation space. I've been working with Amazon, IKEA, FedEx, doing their buildings in 3D.
Yeah, big contracts, right? Okay.
Yeah, and we've got a number of virtual reality games under our belt. So I think right after this, we sort of hopped to VR, and we worked on a game called Ionia, and put out another game that was more open world called Eolia.
Yeah.
And right now, Seb's leading the charge on a game called Healer. So
Fantastic.
we're actively putting out games.
Ionia is awesome. That one I've played. But I don't have anything from Meta, so I can't play Eolia.
Yeah, Ionia was kind of an interesting one because this was pre-pandemic VR. So our whole goal for Ionia was to be able to play it in a public arcade space. You know, where you and your buddies go into a room, like they're kind of coming back to now. But the way that Ionia was designed was you're in 20-foot by 20-foot box, and you can free walk, and be with other people solving puzzles, which is why the elevator's so big in that game. For
Gotcha.
Nice.
It does work quite well in. It
but
does
then
work very well in VR, though.
Pre-release with the COVID, crisis becoming such a problem that we had to actually quickly convert that back to kind of a regular VR experience.
Right.
And I think it hurt that game a little bit because the locomotion wasn't, kind of dialed in. But for the next VR game that we did, we just opened it up kind of full world, jump anywhere you want to go, climb anywhere you want to go. Eolia was kind of groundbreaking in the sense that Meta Facebook came to us and said, hey, we have this idea about hands-free, not using controllers. Like, what kinds of things can you do with that? And we just went full tilt, creating all sorts of abilities. We designed a pan flute. Caesar will be happy to talk about that, I'm sure, that you could play melodies on, kind of like Ocarina in the Zelda games. You could ride on these giant rhinoceros. You can climb and swing from ropes. You could, all that stuff in VR that everyone else was being very careful to, not make you have motion sickness. Kind of went the other way.
Paradoxically, the game that gives me the least motion sickness that I've played in VR is Overload.
It's weird, eh? Yeah,
Really?
Some people really struggle
Yeah.
with
Really?
that. Yeah, but yet you don't.
No, I have terrible motion sickness in other VR games like Serious Sam and even something like Moss, which is mostly fixed perspective. For some reason, Overload doesn't trigger it, and everything else does. And it's horrible.
You think it'd be the opposite, though, eh?
That's fascinating.
Yeah, you would. That's why I find it remarkable.
Yeah.
We put Sol Contingency in VR.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
UE4 came out. And working with some of the experts, one of the things that we figured out to help with the motion sickness was when you're in the cockpit to restrict the peripheral vision with the cockpit.
Yeah.
Because you don't normally get sick by what you're looking at. You get sick by what's going past your ears. You know what I mean? So we have a design of Vertigo that you can play in VR.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Wow. It's crazy.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
but-
Half-Orc.
no,
Oh, sorry. Yep, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that even stranger then is the fact that in Overload, when I turn the cockpit off, I do better.
Play VR without the cockpit
Yeah,
and no get sick. Gosh, damn.
and don't get sick, but only in Overload. Everything else, nightmare.